Good morning, fellow cruisers. This is Pete from Travel Cousin Pete, and today on this video I'm going to be giving you a tour around our suite B723 on board P&O Britannia, which is the Granada suite. Enjoy! Now, what I would say on coming into the suite, it is rather spacious. Initial impressions, that is, anyway. We have here the coffee machine, little desk, writing desk for the guys that want to do some work or just sit down and write your memoirs, if that's still a thing. Not actually sure it is. You see here, this is the living space. It's, in my opinion, a bit cluttered. Several times during the cruise, I found myself tripping over furniture, having to move stuff just to get around it. So this area for me wasn't the best. You see here, you have your standard tea, coffee facilities. I didn't show the biscuits, but if you pull that drawer out a little bit further, you do get your complimentary, I think they're coconut and butter biscuits. And there we have the champagne, which is complimentary for all suite guests on board P&O. Adequate storage throughout the room is there. You haven't got to worry about not having enough room to hang your clothes up. It is plentiful. The bedroom area, as you can see, is spacious. The bed was pretty comfortable, although on this format we did have two singles pushed together. Here we go. Now, the power supplies, we do have the USB-C. This is located on either side of the bed, along with switches for the lights. We also have European plugs and the British plugs, so we are catered for most people. Sorry, you Americans, you got to bring your adapters. Now let's look at the bathroom. This is by far the biggest bathroom I've ever been on a cruise. You've got a big double-sized freestanding shower, plenty of space to swing a cat. And then we have the jacuzzi or the whirlpool bath, which was used often throughout the cruise, especially on the sea days where you're kind of figuring out what to do. Now, the separate toilet was a godsend. For all you lovely couples out there, or even families, you know, you don't want to be queuing up after a long day out. The separate toilet was a godsend. The air conditioning in the room was hit and miss. It wasn't that warm on the cruise. We did the Canary Island cruise via Lisbon, and it wasn't the warmest, so I'm not sure why it struggled. Now off we go to the balcony. I struggled initially to get this out, as you can see, up and down the handles a few times, but there was a little knack. It needed a slight lift and pull, I imagine obviously for security reasons, regardless of the lock. However, it was heavy, so just be prepared to have a little fight with it every now and then. But a double size, I think even triple size balcony in the middle of the ship at the back made that experience well worth it. For the days that we did have sun on the balcony, it was nice and peaceful, so we didn't have to be up at the poolside with all the noise. We can get away and just chill out. It was lovely. I would fully recommend utilising your time out there. Now, to move on a subject that's a bit controversial with some people, butlers. The suites do have their own butlers who will help you wherever you need it. They will go above and beyond to make sure your cruise experience is second to none. Our butler on the cruise this time was fantastic. There'll be menus on our table every day for the upcoming next day and the day after for the restaurant. So if we wanted to order food to the room, we could do. And we did this on a few occasions when we were at sea and maybe the seas weren't as calm as we'd like. So we kind of stayed in the room and utilized that experience. Now, one thing my partner was embarrassed to do, but I had to do it for, I want to I say educational purposes and for you guys, was to utilize the function of, or sorry, not the function, the services of the butler actually emptying the case and hanging up my garments. Now, I know there'll be people out there that go, well, why can't you do it yourself? That's just pretty lazy. Yes, and I would agree with you. However, I wanted to see what it was and what it entailed. And for this occasion, it fit because our bags turned up all bar mine. So when we were out exploring the ship, we came back and found this was the case. I then spoke to the guy and said, look, would you mind emptying it? I didn't want to come back and have to do it after we'd just done our initial bags. He said, yeah, no problems. And I did feel awkward, I'm not gonna lie, that's not kind of how I roll, but I utilised the service. Now, it was great. I came back, everything was hung up, the bag was away, I wouldn't even know they'd been here. I checked all my bags, they were fine. I wouldn't feel bad for doing it. It's a service they offer, so use it. Don't feel bad for using it. Get in there, get amongst it, and enjoy your time. It's your holiday at the end of the day, you want to relax. Now, the $1 million question is, would I book a suite again? Bottom line, no. For me and Kaz, we're not that people. We only got this suite because we transferred from a different holiday, which was slightly more expensive, and it enabled us to upgrade to a suite. We actually was booked on Avia with a conservatory mini suite, but we didn't really utilize much of the services bar the room service. The room was great, but apart from sea days, we didn't really spend much time in it, so it was a lot of wasted time and wasted space. However, if you do have families, I do feel this would be good because you do have the separate areas for the living and the sleeping, so kids could watch TV while the parents or the adults are in the other side doing something themselves, so they do have room to do your own things. But for us, it just didn't tick enough boxes to warrant the cost, I guess, for future cruises. The big plus for us would be we were allowed to use the Epicurean restaurant for breakfast, which we did actually do every day, I'm pretty sure, maybe bar one day. Now, that was a nice dining experience if for anyone that's actually been on P&O and utilised the Epicurean. The breakfast just started off the day lovely. As you'll see from the video, which I've done previous, which is the ship tour on P&O Britannia. Go and check it out. The food looked and tasted amazing. I think the French toast I nearly had every day. It was so light and fluffy with a nice dusting of ice and sugars and maple syrup. The fruit was fresh. The juices were lovely. On initial, the coffee wasn't that great, I will admit. However, I did say to the guy, I like it a bit stronger. Could you make it stronger? Yeah, no problem. And every day the guys remembered and brought me a stronger coffee because I don't like any of that sort of wishy-washy stuff. I like it nice and dark.